Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Chaitanya, the head of growth of Writesonic. Hello.
Hey Christian, hi. It's great to meet you here. So
It's nice to meet you.
excited to learn more about you, podcast, and other things.
Super excited to do it. Firstly, please tell us what is Writesonic.
I think in simple, it's a generative AI company. Started about 8.5, 9 months. I mean, we're clocking a year now, close to a year officially. We're in alpha for about like good 3-4 months. After that, we did our release. It helps everyone to automate things in your content, be it your long form, short form, and other forms of content, writing from Google Ads to Facebook ads, other forms of content, your email scripts, your video scripts, podcast scripts, anything which you can do with the content. I think the limit of the use case is how well and efficiently you want to use it. It's not built on the product, but yeah, we still are trying to innovate a lot in terms of what we're doing.
What would you say is the biggest problem that you solve for users?
I think we want to help the small and the medium businesses. Let's say you have a mom or someone is at a mid 40s or 50s who don't have access to the technology like we do, or they want to build a side hustle, or they wanted to build businesses at using technology, and we want to bring technology into their forefront so that they can build their businesses or the other kind of stuff which they wanted to do in a more easy way without taking a lot of help from other people. I mean, we're not killing resources, or we're not killing jobs here. We're trying to make people more efficient and more productive using technology. That's what I would put it.
Awesome. I'd love to hear the most loved features, maybe the top 3.
I think right now we have a bunch of great features which we are coming up with. I think we have 2 products right now. Writesonic is our main flagship product, but we do have another product called as Chatsonic, which is like your GPT-3, but on a more, we train them with other models and other integrations and other stuff. I think just a day before, we've natively integrated with Opera. So anyone who is using Opera, but almost like 150 million users would get access, right? So I think Chatsonic, I would say, is a great feature on steroids. Be it short form, I think Writesonic is mostly for the long form content, writing your blogs, automating 100-page 100-page words and all of that. But Chatsonic is mostly, it's a contextual and also factual with the kind of data which you input. I think that is what keeps us different, and also that is our key USP which you wanted to play. And then we're trying to build a multimodal on top of that, like be it you can say that I wanted to write an email where I want to have a gif of a puppy, and the gif should talk about the particular image or the kind of meme or something which you want to add. So these are like multimodal search queries which you can't find information quickly and not accessible easily, or maybe you want to have information saying that, hey, I like HubSpot emails, or I like emails of Gong, or I like emails of Microsoft. You can say that, hey, Chatsonic, can you write email by learning the emails of these 2 emails from Microsoft and rewrite that in the context and the factual information with a specific GIF from, let's say, ChargeBee or Stripe, which I got in another email. Can we combine these 2? That's what Chatsonic can do.
That's all. Yeah. And can you explain to us how it works, that it generates unique content? Because you said that you do not have plagiarism, and it's
so
100%
we have
unique content.
so we have a lot of self-trained models which we use, and we have a research team which works on training the models on top of other open source data sets and all what are available on the market. Like, we're built on OpenAI still, but we do have other data sets which we use, where we train our data with the information which we see in our systems. Like there,
Okay.
we've generated over close to 500 million copies at this point, right? With the 500 million copies, we do have a lot of information which we process. We use that to train our models and provide more accurate information. And we do also have integrations with Google Knowledge Graph, which keeps us apart from OpenAI. With OpenAI, you have data till 2021. With Google
Yeah.
Knowledge Graph, we are almost real time.
Wow. Nice. And a lot
Yeah.
of people are scared to use AI generated content for SEO. What's your take on that?
I think if you just like Google a ChatGPT alternative, Writesonic ranks first, and all of that content is written by AI.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
I think
what
we've
is the
scaled.
pricing?
I think we've scaled the traffic from, let's say, over 300,000 visits to almost 2.1 million visits using
Oh.
AI. So that's a great case study for anyone to understand and what we did right.
Absolutely, absolutely. What is the pricing for Writesonic? Can people use it for free?
I think we do have a freemium plan. You get 10,000 words of credit to start with, where you can try. I think that is enough for you to test out at least like 3 or 4 blogs for the first month. And after the first month, we give out 2,500 free credits after the first month. So that's enough for you to test a decent size, maybe do a landing page, maybe a couple of emails. But if you wanted to do more with the scale, have more versions of the content, have A/B testing or multiple ad copies, running a small business, then you might have to start with a $19 plan. We have 19 till $1,000. Like $250 plan comes with team options where you can have multiple team members. And the $99 plan comes with a GPT-4 approach, and other models are like on the GPT-3. So based on that, you choose based on your usage what you want to do. Figure out is how much number of words which you need, and what are the options. And we do have special offers and discounts for nonprofits, students. We do 30% off on the plans, so we want to help them. Yeah.
What is the difference between GPT-4 and GPT-3?
I think what we understood, personally, when I tried GPT-4, it's more contextual. Like, for example, I was doing a webinar with Craig Campbell, and I want to write a tweet thread by using the information on the landing page which I built, and also combining that with information on what is available on his past webinars with SEMrush, Ahrefs, Moz, and other different places. So it combined stats, numbers from all of this information, and it wrote me a like 5-minute thread on like 6 on different stats. With GPT-3, it gives me saying that, hey, Craig Campbell has spoke at SEMrush, but it doesn't know the context of it, what he spoke and when he spoke.
I understand. And you also have a Google Chrome integration, right?
Yeah, we do have a Chrome integration. That's right. Chatsonic on steroids all over the place. Every website, every app, everything which you open, Chatsonic is there. Then we do have a mobile app on Android. And we are the first ones to integrate Zapier integration, Make. So we do have a Make. Nice. So that combines with Notion or Discord, Slack, Pitch, all the productivity apps if you wanted to automate, Google Sheets, Google Docs, anything which is there on Zapier, anything which is there on Make. If you wanted to integrate that with Chatsonic, it's just like a couple of triggers. And unlike other players, we opened our API 6 months back, even before OpenAPI. OpenAI launched their API. So you can tweak it, play around with the API, figure out other ways to explore things on your own. If you know a bit of understanding of the simple programming languages, not too heavy, call an API and some simple stuff, you could figure out how to do stuff on your own. Yeah.
How dangerous is AI now that everybody can access it?
It's not as dangerous as people think. It's the perception of people and how you want to use it, right? So let's say if you're to break down from a marketer's perspective, let's say if I wanted to scrape data from a particular website and stuff. So
Mhm.
AI can only access the information which is publicly available. It can't access the information which is not there out in Google, which is not there anywhere. So it's optimizing your way of searching things. Instead of saying that, hey, can I get top 10 tools or top 10 information about a particular travel or itinerary? It's saying that, hey, this is the best itinerary and this is how you have to do it. So
Exactly.
it's like adding steroids to Google search. It's only accessing the public data. It's not accessing the data in your emails. It's not accessing your Facebook chats. It's not accessing your WhatsApp chats. Whatever
Yeah.
is there on the web, it's just like putting it in a more streamlined manner. That's what I would see.
And it was written by a human, and
Yeah.
the AI consider that it's the most helpful. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
we have to think about it differently. Yeah. How do you differentiate from your competitors?
I think right now I would say that I think if someone like Microsoft is saying that you're the first one which we're scared of, and we're on the stability. Microsoft recently released a stability map saying that Microsoft, Bing, Google on the other side, and Chatsonic is on the other side. So that's a difference which we're creating. So we want to build a content ecosystem like what Salesforce did with the CRM market. We wanted to venture into the other things, like we're building multiple products like Writesonic, Chatsonic are just to start to what we wanted to do with the content space. But we want to build workflows. We wanted to do plugins in the marketplaces and explore others. So anything, be it small business, big business, or enterprises, SMBs, freelancers, SEOs, all of that, we want to make sure that you're always using Chatsonic at your part of your content life.
And I know you have a lot of use cases, but maybe tell us some that surprised you, that you didn't think about.
I think one of the use cases, like, so we also have a marketplace called as Prompt Marketplace. Though we ensure that there is zero plagiarism, sometimes we see that there is a bit of plagiarism, like 2 to 3% or 5%, because that depends on prompts, that depends on the kind of input users do. So we recently saw a prompt by one of the person who's saying that, hey, I wanted to write a blog, a 1,000-word blog on this particular topic. Can you also make sure that it is not plagiarized and not detected by any AI? And Chatsonic did it. So this is a kind of example which we never thought.
Yeah. But why should companies, why should people use a solution like yours? Why should they use AI? What are the benefits?
I think of the scale at which we could do. Like, let's say if you're building a business and you want to hire a content writer with the 5 years of experience, he might be able to write 3 blogs a week. But can you do 10 blogs? Can you do 100 blogs? I mean, I know people who are using OpenAI, Chatsonic, and other kind of forms to build thousands of landing pages in a month. Do you think if I want to build a booking.com or Airbnb where I want to build a landing page for every city, every country, I could do that in 15 days now. If I wanted to do that back 2 years, I might take ages.
So do you see it as a revolution? A lot of companies will start from scratch, and a lot of big players will fail. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think I see this as a place where you have to keep on innovating. You have to keep on doing things in increasing the scale, speed, velocity of what you do. So that keeps us apart, right? So, I mean, though AI is always there, a content writer is a content writer. A content writer knows what works for him. A content writer always knows his pedigree of how to rank for keywords. I mean, there are still processes which we can't automate using AI. Let's say you wanted to distribute, right? You wanted to build backlinks. you wanted to make sure that there is a technical SEO and all of that, you might have to do some kind of the manual intervention. AI is not replacing there, just like it's increasing your scale and speed of what you could do, so that you don't have to work on ad hoc tasks like the data entry part of stuff and other normal things which you could do. It's more related to how can you build strategies that can, where you can use AI and make things achievable, which might take a lot of time. Can we shorten that? If I don't have money to hire a content writer where I have to pay $70,000 annually, can I use AI? Can I hire a couple of freelancers to do certain jobs and save $50,000 and use the $25,000 to build a business out of it instead of spending $70,000? So that's what we see.
Yeah. For some time, Google has been against the AI content, but do you think that now they're gonna change their position and allow it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the recent update, right? They released a recent update focusing on AI specific SEO. If they're talking about AI specific SEO, they know that this is gonna change the game forever, and they're adapting to AI SEO. I mean, initially there are only possibly like 2-3 players. They went against it because if you're not talking about that, that's not what their product does, right? When everyone starts talking about, and we're talking about results, and we're talking about numbers, we're talking about data, which proves that AI SEO works. So now they updated their algorithms with the new AI trends and how AI is looking at things. I mean, like for me, SEO, AI, and all of these combinations is all about the contextuality. If you talk in a language which a human understands with AI, if you talk in more natural language, saying that having the right page structure, having the right content techniques in place, and the other forms of content like H1, H2s, and the right kind of length with the image, which is an updated information, not with old information, mostly accurate and factually correct. So AI can't even replace that, right? So it's all about how you combine your human intelligence with the machine intelligence, leveraging both AI and your human intelligence and making things work.
You explained it great. That was awesome. Can you tell us the story of the company, how it started, the idea of the founders?
I think there's only one founder. I think Sam, who was doing his undergrad in UK in the Manchester University. He was swindling about with multiple products like 2 years back. So he released a smaller version of the product called as TLDR, which is a text summarizer. Then Magic Email, which is also writes emails for you using AI. And then a couple of small micro products, small products, like 10 of these from email, SEO, content writing, and all of that. Now, what actually Writesonic is a bundle of all of these products and putting all of these 15 products and even more products right now into one single ecosystem called as Writesonic.
So Writesonic started 1 year ago, right? But he came with the idea.
Yeah. So he was experimenting with all of this. Sorry, I think I was there for about like 9 months now. So I was there when the company started pretty early. The first few people, I was the first marketer. Then I started building the marketing team, growth team. Yeah.
That's awesome. Super happy for you. How big is your whole team right now?
I think right now we're close to 20 members at this point. We're working out of multiple countries. 60-70% of the team is based out of India. A couple of members are from Romania. We have a few from London, and we have one from Beijing. Yeah, I mean, it's spread along the world, and we want to expand our waters across wherever the good talent is there.
Can you tell us more about your funding, the company's funding?
I think we are a YCombinator based startup. We passed out of the YCombinator YC batch in 2021. We did a pre-seed of 2.5 million. But after that, we completely bootstrapped going good in terms of the revenue. We're strong in terms of what we're building. Yeah, quite good in terms of whatever which we're doing at this point.
That's inspiring. What has been your biggest challenge since joining the company?
I think the biggest challenge is, I think, the whole industry as an AI is changing faster than ever. I mean, what I see today before sleeping, I see something else tomorrow. So you can't even imagine how things change. So keeping up to that pace and trying to build a lot of things. I mean, we're focusing on too many things at a point. We're focusing on Chatsonic, we're focusing on Writesonic, we are also building something for the enterprises, marketplaces, integrations. So keeping up to that pace, I think, I mean, there's a bit of learning curve which I had, trying to do things, multitasking at the core, trying to strategize things. But Sam and the team has been good, I think, because the team is quite young. Most of them are still studying, undergrad students. We have 60%, 75% of the team under 25 years old.
That's awesome.
So great energy in the team. So yeah, I think that's what making things work.
That is fantastic. And you're the head of growth. What do you actually do in your day-to-day right now? Because things change from 9 months ago to...
I think right now our focus is on building Chatsonic a much bigger brand. We see that we're competing with Google, Microsoft, and other players in the market, not with other players which we normally hear of the generative AI space, because we've come along the journey of competing from the smaller players, like Jasper and Copy.ai, to competing with Google and Microsoft. That's what we aim in the next 1 or 2 years. And we want to expand to more markets in terms of the enterprises, SMBs, have more integrations. Like one of the features which you have right now is we natively also integrate with SEMrush and Ahrefs, which means that you don't have to go out to SEMrush or Ahrefs to do your keyword research. You can do that inside the Writesonic when you're writing a long form article.
Wow,
right?
That's so cool.
So these are the kind of products, the kind of innovation which we want to bring in at scale. Android app, and then we are coming up with iOS app and other integrations. I think integrations play a key role of what we're focusing. So the kind of more integrations, the kind of more things. So imagine having a booking.com integration on Chatsonic. Imagine having an Expedia. Imagine doing an Airbnb search inside Chatsonic. Right? I think these are the kind of talks about volume. I think with the Opera integration right now, which we did, so we got eyes on 120 million active users with a single integration. So if someone wants to do that scale, I think this is the reason why Opera integrated with us and OpenAI, where you have players like Jasper, players like Copy.ai, players like Wordtune, and hundreds of other players. So that's where we make the difference.
Yeah. I was curious to know, what is your most successful growth tactic?
I think first I would understand a growth technique. Also, the kind of culture which we're trying to build at Writesonic is mostly the data first culture. So where we wanted to understand data to the core, we're using tools like Mixpanel and other stuff, like pretty much to get us a good sense of data of how we wanted to use data. I think studying those patterns and understanding it and taking decisions based on that is kind of the biggest learning for me in terms of the growth and how we could make the decisions. Like, for example, hey, we know that the revenue bumped on a particular day. If you ask me, when do you see that there's a bump in revenue, I can say that, hey, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday are my good days. Friday and Tuesday are my bad days. If there is a reason why, I do go and understand what's causing that hype and what's causing that bump. So based on that, I can strategize my campaigns. I can test my pricing, I can test my other forms, and I can do localization. So if you're trying to understand data to the core and making sense of data, I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of data points, right? But you have to drill down on what to look at and what to ignore at a point, and making sense of the first key metrics, 4, 5, maybe 3, bottle down to 2, and then expand slowly on top of that. If you are looking at a data metric, make sure that that is related to a company-wide goal. Let's say revenue, right? Let's say your retention. Let's say your churn rate. So these 3 are important at the company level. If you are looking at these 3 metrics, they're very high level, and then boiling down the further metrics, so that will give you a lot of ideas on what you can do on the growth side and how we can expand on that.
I know you're a big promoter of PLG, product-led growth. Please tell us more about it. Why do you love it so much?
I think PLG for me is, I think I've been in multiple industries. So before Writesonic, has been consulting for a good number of companies in the Valley and back in London, and worked with the larger companies where security is a core, security companies, other big companies. I found things fascinating, but PLG for me is about how you can innovate in terms of the marketing and also on the product, pretty much self-serve. You don't have to have sales team, or you don't have to think of having longer sales cycles, or having mostly like hand-holding people or hand-holding companies. It's pretty much self-serve. Just like put a card of $1,000 or $50 and you just get it done. And how you can add PLG layers on top of your existing PLG layer. Let's say I wanted to build an influencer marketing tool. I'm just like throwing an idea right now, which I never thought of, right?
Okay.
So let's say I want to build an influencer marketing feature on top of that, but I want to test it out. How many of them would like? I would say that, hey, this is a new feature which I want to build. Let's say the feature talks about writing your Instagram bios, TikTok bios, and YouTube bios, your video scripts, and all of that. Can I build a calculator on my existing product, which says that with Instagram followers, if you're writing this, you could save an X amount in writing, right? So that is an PLG layer on top of a PLG. And then you have extensions like Chrome plugins, you have integrations and other stuff which you can play around and have fun with. So the limit and the meat which you could play. So B2B is good, B2C is good, but you always have to look at, hey, do I have the meat to play with? Do I have the audience to play around and try different things? Is the audience okay to accept the kind of things which you wanted to do? The acceptance in the PLG is way huge compared to the B2B or other segments like security and data and other forms of autonomous vehicles, the green energy and all of that. I mean, if I look at green energy and autonomous vehicles, right? I can't do a Chrome plugin. I can't do integrations and all of that. And there's a language which I have to use, climate change and other sorts of things, which only few people care about. Many other might not care about. But the kind of relatability to what people could do with PLG is way huge compared to the other markets. I mean, that's why I see interesting. I mean, if I talk about the numbers which have grown with PLG, adding layers and layers on top of our existing one PLG, on top of multiple infinite loops on top of that, creating viral loops, it's massive. So we've grown almost, in the last 6 months, we've grown almost like 900%. So people talk about growing 10% month on month, 12% month on month. In the last 6 months, growing 900%, that's a massive number.
Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. But what do you think was the most important, the most crucial factor for your growth?
I think believe in your product. Talk to your customers what exactly they need. If they're not using the product, understand what's causing them to drop off. And it boils down to data again. I keep talking about data, but don't get bored on that. But it's important. And look at your competitors, what they're doing. Be aware of the space. identify use cases. Always, one of the things for the marketers right now is when you wanted to talk to customers or you wanted to look at what other companies are doing, don't be scared of talking to a competitor and saying that, exploring, hey, how did you do this? They might answer, they might not answer, but it gives a sense of what is the thought process when they're looking at a problem and how you're looking at that particular problem. Have a good initial set of customers. Be lean. Don't overhire people in your team. Keep it as lean as possible. Really smart folks who can do stuff and make things done. And when you're building an initial team, don't hire specialists, like let's say the performance specialist or the SEO specialist or the other specialist roles. Try to start building the team from the journalist who can do multiple things, be a multitasker, figure out his own niche, what he wanted to do, and let him expand on that. Once he knows that is what he is supposed to do, then bring in a senior person with more experienced person and let him train, and they would build things further.
That was absolutely fantastic. I'll save that for later. Fantastic. What is your vision for the future?
I think our vision right now is building a company that's in the eyes of Google and Bing. So we want to, we're not a search company, we're an AI company. We want to be that player, but we wanted to bring in technology to the forefront of everyone, be it a college student, school student. We have a Discord community where we see folks who are like 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, building things with Chatsonic API, and they're writing code. And they're using Chatsonic to write certain lines of code, and they're writing other things on from their knowledge and what they could do. So it's not limiting your age or what you could do. It's for everyone who understands how to use internet. It's for everyone who understands how to use basic Google search. That's how we want to keep it. How you want to play with it is what we give it to you vision. If you say that, hey, I wanted to integrate with this particular product, which makes Chatsonic with this can make things easy, we will build that for you.
Oh. So you allow creativity for people, and they appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, awesome. Let's say you're in Romania and say that you have a specific dating app. Maybe let's take that example and say that you want to use Bumble or Tinder, and let's say you want prompts on Bumble or Tinder to be built on Chatsonic. We can do that for you. So it's up to you what you could do. Be my dating guru or whatever you call it. So we want integration with Spotify. There are hundreds and hundreds of use cases. But end of the day, it boils down to our core problem of helping more and more businesses, helping more people to build small businesses and the bigger businesses and expand the bigger businesses. And also, we're launching our upcoming new product called as Chatsonic Enterprise AI, which is like a no-code chatbot. You heard of things like Drift and Intercom. One of the problems which we see on that is you have a good UI, UX, and all of that. But if you want to build the content around it, all the FAQs, all the support questions, all the lead generation templates, someone has to spend like almost 2 to 3 months. What if the AI could do on its own by training based on your data? You just have to feed your existing data, which is on multiple sources. Let's say social media, let's say email, let's say your FAQ website. Just like connect all of these, build integrators. Then it just like builds up your own AI specifically designed for you, and it keeps learning whenever there is new data flowing into the system. So that's what we're trying to build. And that shortens the time to go market ready from 30 to 45 days of having a complete full-fledged chatbot to less than 2 days.
You also have a product called Photosonic, right?
Yeah, Photosonic. Right now, we took a bit pause on that. We're trying to integrate that in Chatsonic natively. So where Chatsonic will be now powered by images and also text. So using a multimodal. So that's what we're trying to do. So we took a bit pause. So our development team is working on making it a relaunch of it. So that's what we're working on. Yeah. So a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah.
I'd love to hear full story. So how you started your career until this point?
I mean, it's a huge journey. Yeah, I think I was always fascinated with technology as a kid. Worked with a good friend of mine to build the first company. It's a branding and designing agency back then. Yeah, we did it. Tried a lot of things when still in the undergrad. When I was still in undergrad, and then worked with a couple of good companies, startups. I mean, a lot of good experiences. Traveled good countries with my work and with the kind of companies which I associate. I had a chance to travel a lot. I love traveling, so I could understand how people think about different problems. And as a marketer, understanding people's psychology and how they look at things is important so that you can understand the sense of what it is. Yeah, a couple of AppNox, my previous company, was one of the fastest growing startups in the security, mobile app security space. Before that, I was working with a company called as Tekpon, and Darwinbox is a big unicorn right now. It's called as a Workday alternative for Asia at this point. Backed by some of the pretty good angels like Snapchat, Microsoft. Yeah, all the hypergrowth. I think being in the startup ecosystem, helping multiple people build startups on my own, bootstrapping, helping the bootstrapping founders, taking care of the Microsoft BizSpark. So I was with Microsoft BizSpark, helping the Microsoft Teams and other company where Microsoft is investing. So I used to help them with the GTMs, solving very early stage problems below 10K MRR, helping them to figure out the market fit. I think those are the specific areas where I spent my good 2.5 years identifying the many problems at the early stages. So that helps me to understand the core problem when someone is starting up and keeping things grounded there.
And how old are you right now?
I'm 28 right now. Yeah.
So that's only the beginning. Wow. I'm super curious to know what's your best piece of advice for somebody that's 18, 20. You mentioned that you have a lot of young team members.
Mm-hmm. I think
I'm curious to see your perspective. Yeah.
I think if you're 18, 19 or 20, I think don't go with big brand names when you wanted to work with at the initial start of your career. Don't focus on making money in the first few years. Have a clear idea of, is this something which you really like doing? Try to experiment with multiple things, be it marketing, be it sales, be it technology, be it data science, be it things. Always try to stay in the forefront of technology where whatever you're doing, right? Be it sales, marketing, or community, or content writing. Always try to involve technology there. Try to automate as much as possible. That's how we find good solutions for a lot of things. At some point, you might crack an idea of build the next big company out there, being right in front of the technology, experimenting a lot. I think a lot of the if you've heard of PayPal Mafia, you have heard of a lot of the companies there. So all of these companies, what they try to do is keeping technology at the forefront. So they try to solve a good amount of problems, and they try to come up with great products right there.
Understand. What's your favorite software apart from Writesonic?
Right now, I'm crushing heavily on Notion. My team uses Notion aggressively, and yeah, I think great products. Discord is always my go-to thing. Part of good communities there, OpenAI, a lot of good stuff there. Be part of good communities. I think that's another thing which I would give to anyone. Be picky. I have like 50, 60 communities on my Slack and Discord, but I actively be contributing from my end is like only like handful of 10-15. So be picky. I think I always try to be picky, but sometimes I have to be expand my knowledge into other areas also. So there's like a lot of communities which I'm part of. So yeah, I think communities be open on LinkedIn, be open on Twitter, whatever which you do, keep talking about, be about your work. Always keep side hustles, though you're working at a company. When you have time to do some side hustle, I think, I mean, it could be as simple as writing something, a blog, and putting it right out there on Indie Hackers, or building a small ebook about a particular piece of technology which you know, or particular SEO tips or techniques, or writing content, writing how to write a blog effectively which can rank, and putting it on Gumroad. You don't have to think about how can you distribute when you think about these pieces. I think the distribution goes on its own. How well the audience receives and learn to the feedback, and yeah, just keep doing side hustles. I think that will help people when they're starting things on their own.
You did great. This was fantastic. I was curious to know if you want to tell us anything else today on the podcast.
I think one thing, I mean, as being in the part of industry, since when they started picking up, what I see right now is AI is a space which is gonna change now. It's like Web 2.0, Web 3.0, and all of that. Like, for example, when the email first came, versus when we have Gmail and Outlook, and think about Orkut and Facebook. From there to Orkut, it took 20 years. From your Orkut to the Web3 and what we have right now, we took 5 years. From AI right now, it could be even less than 2 years. So keep your things active on the AI space. Start learning. At least, I mean, you don't have to be a developer or anyone to build things. Just keep things active. Start listening. Keep updated. Follow the trends. And it's going to be, for me personally, it's going to be AI before Google and AI after Google. So that's what I could see, how things are changing right now with the very fast-paced companies, right? Just with AI, there are possibly like 100 companies which I can think, which I see inspiration from, which are directly competing with us or indirectly competing with us in bits, forms, and pieces. I mean, back then, if you, let's say Uber, right? Uber had 2 or 3 competitors. Uber had Grab. Uber had other competitors in India, or maybe 3 or 4 competitors. But the market size of the AI, which we see right now, is billions of dollars. It's just that you have to understand how simple it's to do and try to innovate and make things happen.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I'm super grateful, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Christian.